You might have heard of DALI hitting a bridge causing its collapse. While there's still no official result from the investigation, let's take a look at the data we have gathered from the live video, vessel trackers, news, and a nautical chart. Let's also synchronize their time. DALI departed the port of Baltimore at 12:40 a.m. As per news source, the ship underwent routine engine maintenance while in port. DALI also had a deficiency under propulsion and auxiliary machinery when it was in Chile last June 2023. With 2 pilots on board and assisted by 2 tugs, DALI continued its passage. If we switch on the nautical chart, you can see the shallow waters represented by these blue areas, leaving DALI just enough sea room to maneuver. Upon successfully completing the turn, the tugs were casted off. Now you might think tugs should be casted off only after passing the bridge. This might be advantageous, but ships don't normally hire tugboats just for passing a bridge. Instead, an anchor party will be assigned forward to drop the anchor in case of emergency. But let's talk about that later. DALI continued its normal passage up until 01:25 or 4 minutes before impact. If you observe the AIS track closely, DALI started swinging to starboard when she was abeam of this red buoy and at the entrance of Curtis Bay Channel. The Curtis Bay entrance itself is a change in topography, meaning the high pressure buildup released in this area, causing a pressure difference from the starboard. This can add more force to the swing. Now, if you check the time, it's 01:26:36, and this is exactly the time when DALI experienced a total blackout. With a total blackout, ships will lose its steering and propulsion, making them unable to stop the swing. And if you look back, you can see from this AIS track that DALI was heading slightly to port, but was running a different course over ground, suggesting maybe there was a current pushing the ship to starboard. This will add to the swing, especially now that DALI can no longer counter it. So what could DALI do now? With no power, as a contingency, DALI can only drop his port side anchor to stop the swing. But at this very minute, DALI was still running at 8.2 knots, meaning stopping this huge ship with an anchor is more likely impossible. As per a news source, DALI did drop its anchor anyway, hoping to somehow stop the ship or change its direction. While the bridge team was busy with this crisis, the engine team is surely cramming to restore its power. The ship did restore its power back, but as per news sources, it never gained back its propulsion, and it was only the emergency generator automatically taking over. This is because ships are required to have an emergency generator that will auto-start within 45 seconds after the ship loses its main power source. For DALI, it was just 33 seconds. Emergency generator can supply power only to emergency steering and not its propulsion. And if you're a navigator, the effectivity of your rudder depends a lot on your propulsion. Other than that, we only have 2 minutes before impact. The pilot did order a hard port, but all this was not enough to stop the momentum of this enormous ship, causing the bridge to collapse.